So some context to this, when I came to Humboldt 20 years ago, we have an intro to human communication studies, which is not the public speaking class, and so not a lot of campuses have a survey of the discipline. And so there weren't very good options for textbooks. There are always these hybrid kind of textbooks. So I decided I was going to go ahead and write a textbook that fit our 105 class that would also service the rest of the country. I signed with 3 different publishers over the course of a number of years, and it sounds weird to say that. But what we would get is our publishers would send it out for review. The reviews would come back very positive, and then because of the sort of strangeness of this type of a survey course, we get all these positive reviews, and then would you adopt the textbook for your course, and then we get a response that says, no, this doesn't fit my public speaking course, and then the publishers would want us to redo the chapters to sort of morph it into a textbook that we did not want it to be. And so we kept fighting back and forth with publishers regarding the content, and then we'd say, thanks for your time, we'll find somebody else who got very excited about it. So we did this 3 times, and then finally in 2009, I kind of said, screw it, we're done with publishers. I'm not here to make money, I want the content for students, so let's just publish it ourselves. And I made this joke in 2009, it's on the wiki, which now it's much more sophisticated with things like Nick is doing. But we published on Wikibooks at the time because there wasn't a lot of open educational resources going on. And I made the joke to Laura that we're 5 years ahead of our time. And sure enough, Sorrell came, 2 or 3 years ago, and let's do open educational resources and affordable learning solutions, etc. And so we've been using this textbook for a number of years. A number of folks around the country are using it as well, largely because it's free, it's accessible. Students are pretty responsive to the language. Again, it's geared towards 18, 19-year-olds. But what's interesting is we put out a call to our colleagues around the country because we wanted the textbook to be updated in real time. That's the point. So rather than a new edition coming out every 2 or 3 years, people could be continually updating it, and we get the latest of information. And it didn't happen. Folks weren't sort of tuned in to editing an open educational resource across the country. And the way my brain works is I like to combine everything I'm doing into the most efficient model possible, so 10 things into one. So 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to teach our capstone course, and I'm very heavily engaged into undergraduate research, to which I try to do my classes where assignments are real assignments. I call the problem with the way we teach sometimes the audience of one. We ask our students to produce work to give it to one audience member, which is me. The only thing that they get out of that is a grade, and I hand it back. And so now I've tried to expand my assignments to say I want you to produce work for the real world. The effective part of their motivation goes up, and they know that for things like this, they're going to get in trouble if they do it wrong. So 3 years ago, I taught the capstone course, and we had our senior communication students edit this book into its 2nd edition. And so we assigned them in the groups. We were in Siemens Hall 116, which has the laboratories kind of like these tables here. And every week the students were in the process of revising the chapters that were assigned to them. Then Laura and I edited the text back into one voice, but again, their ideas, their concepts, etc. came in. Now this semester I'm doing that again, so now I have a new class of students that are now revising this into the 3rd edition. And so it's been this really interesting journey to go full circle. And this semester we're having students in the 105 class actually critiquing chapters and then meeting with the students in the 490 class to give them feedback from an introductory level class of what it is they like and don't like about the particular chapter so students can incorporate it into that. So as you can see, the spectrum is really broad when it comes to open educational resources and affordable learning solutions. You can choose to adopt textbooks, and that's it, and that's fantastic. You can do that because as a parent, I'd be very happy with a $52 biology book. My daughter's a biology major, so she's taking your class when she comes to that, because I know that it's going to be cheap and well taught. But then also authoring, starting off with authoring for things like our classes, and then hopefully that's expanding to things like HSU Press, etc., all the way up to how can we incorporate our own students even contributing their knowledge, their ideas, etc., to the works that we're producing, not only for our own students here, but students across the country. What's nice is the students who are working on the book now realize that the work that they're doing, when I talk about plagiarism is real now, because it's going out into the real world. It's not just me saying you copy and paste it. Somebody's going to catch it if they do that. And so again, the focus on the quality of work really rises because they know that there's real world consequences. The other thing that we have done, and I'll wrap up with this, is that when the students work on this, we put them as contributors in the textbook. And so if you go to the preface of our book, you'll see photos and the names of students. And what's been fascinating to watch is when students join my LinkedIn account, one of the things that you'll see is they'll list on their edited survey of communication study as part of their LinkedIn profile, and it goes on their resume, et cetera. So we're giving them these kinds of opportunities as well. So I'll leave it with that.